Hello everyone. Welcome to our level for Project and Portfolio 3. What My name is Caleb Turner, and I am the level designer for the first level that you are about to enter right now. What I was going for is a warehouse. Like the backstory was you're going for some pet food out of the warehouse for an old lady back at the Bastion, and meanwhile, while doing so, like you're going to find obstacles in your way, such as movable stairs and blocks that are blocking your way. Right here is your first collectible. Then I use the lights to lead the way. Smoke particles are letting you have some more feedback, and this is the introduction to the second mechanic, which is the lever and you moving the stairs. I set up that animation, and this is going to be your practice for the first one, where you got to put platforming skills to the test, and then you're going into the practice for the second level mechanic, where like you're going to find lights leading your way. And as you see, the door is closed, and you have to move the stairs, and it leads you to the key, and that'll help unlock a lever, and it opens the door. And I use racks right here to guide the player to not go up in that direction, go in the other one. This is another collectible. This is the mastery for the first level mechanic, where you got to use it twice. And this is going to be your mastery for my second level mechanic, where like it has platforming. You use the pallets and you would jump over there. I'm really proud of my transition animation that you're about to see whenever you walk out of the door. This is the end of my level. I really upgraded the scenery here. This was a big work in progress here, and then I filled it up with a lot of containers, and this van is going to take you to level number 2, which is going to be Demont.
Good day, my name is Demont Allen, and this is my level. It is an abandoned office building that the Bastion has sent me to find the secret documents, which are 5, that is littered throughout the area within these buildings. The scrapper must find 4 keys to gain access to the areas that gives him access to these new documents. My level takes roughly around 3 minutes and 50 seconds to run completely through. His first objectives are to get inside the office complex, and once he finds his way into the office complex, that's when his journey begins. There are breadcrumbs to lead the scrapper along the way, to show him where he should go and where these documents are actually located. Right now the scrapper has found the first document. The second document is here. Once he gets this breadcrumb, he finds the second document. Now the scrapper is on his way to the next area. Each area holds at least 2 documents that will keep the player engaged in following the path that has been laid out for him. The green lights signify that this is the way you should go, to let the player know that, hey, there's something important here. To let the player know that there's something important here that they should find and look at. Many of the areas are blocked off by a gate, to where the player must unlock it by finding a key. Once the player has gotten all the documents from the certain level, he then heads to the next. Here, when the player first arrived, there was a green light that wasn't on, now it's on, to signify that there was something here, which is this elevator. This elevator takes him to the third and final level of my board, where the scrapper must then put together a makeshift lift, which is sitting outside of the entranceway to the third building. There are 3 pieces that the scrapper must put together. Once the scrapper has all 3 pieces and the key, the scrapper can then transverse his way up into the third level, where he will find the final pieces to this puzzle that the scrapper must find and that the Bastion has sent them out to locate. Now that the lift is together, he can ascend to the top floor and find his way through this last building. There's a box here to represent to where he can actually step up. He's rewarded with a gift to let him know that he's going the right way. He finds 4 of the 5 pages that are needed for him to complete his mission. There's a makeshift puzzle here, so once he hits the lever, it opens up and leads him down into the last final part of this mission. He would not be able to get here unless he had made it this far. Receiving the last key, he now has access. Receiving the last key, he now has access to the last and final piece of his mission piece puzzle, which is getting the 5 sacred documents. Now that he has completed that, his goal is over, and now he must find his way out. He is rewarded again for finding his way out and getting an exit. This is the end of my level. You join me to the next one, which is Wilson.
Thank you, Demont. Hello everyone, my name is Wilson de Jesus Castillo, and I'm the level designer for this area. Cole, a Bastion sent us down here on a mission to create an exit point to these mines. These mines used to be a hub for collecting precious materials for the prospects of the Bastion. However, there was an accident that caused several tons of toxic waste to be spread throughout this area, causing this place to be completely inaccessible. Right now, the player has been taught 2 mechanics, one being a platform creation mechanic, and the other one being a conductive pressure mechanic, in which an object, when placed down, can create current, activating a metallic object. The player just saw 2 minecarts indicating that they have 2 directions they can go towards. The player chose to go to the right, going to the Toxin Bliss area. Right now, the player is using crates as platforms to get to the end. The goal of this area is to collect key cards. These key cards were dropped by passed away scrappers. I can see the player died, indicating the green liquid is highly toxic and highly dangerous. But yeah, the key cards were dropped by passed away scrappers. These key cards they can be used to trigger an explosion device that has been set by past scrappers. The player is still using the crates as stepping stones. And there it is. So yeah, in each area, each final mechanic area, there is a key card. I can see there's one here. This pathway leads to the center point of the oasis. This area is what I'm quite proud of. It's a highly beautiful environment. The only life-filled environment of this whole level. It's meant to resemble real-life cave structures which have their own ecosystem. As you see, there is a minecart indicating to this area, the ore factory area. The connection mechanic, when an object's placed on it, raised these bridges. The player will do that again. To master this mechanic, he'll raise the bridges so that he can then push the minecart back to its proper place. There goes the second one. Now the player can push it and open the door. I can see the players collected some gold ore in the past. The Bastion said to open up the mine shaft, but he didn't really specify if we can collect stuff along the way. I can see the player collected 2 key cards. He blasted away out of here, and this is my transition to the next area. I'm quite proud of this as well. And with that, I hope that you enjoyed my level, and I welcome you to the level designer for the next area, Isaac.
Hello, my name is Isaac King, and I'm the designer for this level. Now, the main theme of this level is a warehouse, and I'm especially proud of how I was able to keep this level as close to realistic as possible. Now, the first mechanic here is going to be a lever, where the player pulls a lever and it clears the path forward. The second mechanic is going to be the use of a grapnel to do the same. In this first room, we're going to put that grapnel mechanic to the test, and I'm going to move that box on top, close to another box for the player to be able to jump on top of, get on top of the pipe, grab the collectible, and progress through. Now, there's no possibility for the player to backtrack because there's no way to go back over the pipes once you're on the other side. This is the main warehouse room, and there are breadcrumbs in the form of mats pointing the player in the direction towards the door that they need to get through. Once they find that door, they're going to be prompted to interact with it, and a dialogue is going to pop up saying that it's locked and they need to disable the security measures. If the player decides to go left, they'll see some boxes that are going to be able to be interacted with the grapnel, and if they move it out the way, they see a little crawl space that they can go through and grab a collectible. Now, this collectible has no impact on the flow of the level. It's just there for the player to grab and increase their cash amount. Now, if they go to the right, they're going to see a wide open door. This is going to help them progress through the actual level. They're going to again use the grapnel to move boxes and line them up for them to be able to jump up onto and cross over the obstacle that's in front of them. In this case, is a fallen warehouse shelf. Grab that collectible and progress through, and again, there's no way for the player to backtrack. Now, here's a second lever mechanic. The player is going to pull the lever, and it's going to move the lift up. Once that lift is up, it clears the way, they can progress through, grab the collectible, and go on to the next room. The next room is going to be a security room. This is the room where they can actually disable that security measure that was referred to earlier. They press that button, and it says that they open the secure door, referring to that door from earlier. Now it's open, they can progress through. Now here they're going to use a grapnel again and move that pallet across the toxic waste. If they touch the toxic waste, the player will respawn to the closest checkpoint. So move the pallet, jump across, do the same on the other side. They're going to move that pallet over, jump onto the pallet, and jump over. This next room is going to be a crane room. Now if you look, you'll see a pallet up attached to the top of the crane, and there'll be a lever to the right. The player's going to pull the lever, it's going to drop the pallet, and they're going to move it across. As you see, the toxic waste will cause the player to respawn to the closest checkpoint. So move the pallet across and jump onto it, jump over, grab the collectible, and progress through. And that is going to be the end of my level. The next level was created by Zachary Walker.
Alright, hello, this is Zachary Walker, and this is my level from Scraps. It involves a research facility called Genetics and their corresponding garage. First thing you do is you go into this elevator here, flip that switch, and it'll bring you to the top floor of the garage. The lights lead the player down, and the flickering one is to help draw the attention to that fan and box corresponding pressure plate. Then inside the office, you'll find these sword pieces and things and have to unlock the next doors. The first one just being the single sword piece. Then you move across these planks back to the garage on the other side of the cars and debris. Pathway that'll lead you down to the second floor of the garage. First, it's collectible there, and you have to kind of crawl under these rocks here. Then from here, again, the light flickering over the box to indicate to the player that that's important. They put that on the pressure plate again, and that will turn that light above the fan green and slow down the fan so they can get through. Now, from this point, you can actually do it in a couple of different ways. For instance, in this part, we'll go get the keys for the final master setup first. And going back to the garage, and this time you actually have to take the same box and move it to the different pressure plates throughout this level in order to collect each piece of the key. So this first piece is the dragon's head, which is the top of the genetic symbol. The second piece that we will go across here to get is the sword. And then finally, the last piece, once we have the sword, is the body of it, the G, standing for genetics. And again, the lights are supposed to push the player in the direction that they should be going in order to get to the next part of that puzzle. Then they have to bring that box back to the original pressure plate just over here. Slowing down this fan again, allowing them to get back to the genetic building. And you can use two of those pieces to get to this laptop. But now you don't have enough pieces to be able to open the last door. So you have to climb back up and do a little bit of exploring here. So you go back around, and then you need a sword, which is right up these stairs, and you go through, and that leads you back to the garage on the other side of the second floor. This one being a little more easy to get through, but it gives you another sword and another dragon's head, which will be all you need to do to get through that final door down there. And again, trying to use the flickering lights and the green lights above the fans to indicate when things are safe for the player. Now we can go all the way back down to the bottom floor of the genetics research facility, insert all three, and then as long as we have the laptop, we can move through the final door out into my transition here. Through this kind of man-made cave, you have a couple of obstacles in the way. These blocks, jump through them or knock them out of the way, player's choice. Now, from this point, there's a couple of barrels with, some additional interaction. You either have to jump over or crawl under, depending on what you want to do. First dead end here, but does have coins, so worth the exploration. And then again, you take this left, and then again another coin, but another dead end. So you move back and follow the rest of the cave out, and finally you will then see the bastion and the train that will take you to it. So that is my level. From this point, you just go up these stairs and get on the train to the bastion, and that's it for me. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.